I'm feeling weirdly nervous. There were, I think, at least 50 students, 50 to 60 minimum. And it was an all girls race, Paneer.
Okay.
And yeah, I came last.
Okay, Sarah, tell me something that you recently struggled with and hopefully you overcame as well.
So I'm very, very grateful to have such support system that no matter what I try, they never say no, and nobody's ever told me no, you can't do this. That's why I'm the closest to my grandmother because yeah, she's such a conservative woman. She grew up in a different time, but to look at it was a huge poster of me in the bikini and say, "Oh my God, I'm so proud of you," and I was like, "Wow." Sometimes when you're so down on yourself, you need someone who really knows you to pick you up and say, I know you and I know what you're capable of. Maybe it's because we're product of DAV.
Well, hello and welcome. Azago date Rahiko 19th of February 2022. I am Ayush Manandar and you're listening to 10 Questions with, where we talk about the preferences, past, and perspectives of the people I care and admire. Now, today, त्यसै सिलसिलामा आज हामीसँग हुनुहुन्छ Miss Sahara Basnet. She is Miss Nepal Asia Pacific International 2017. She's currently working as External Relations Coordinator at Blink Now to educate the children at Surkhet, and she's also working on her own social initiative called the Asha Foundation. We will probably talk about this and more as we get to know her, but before then, let us welcome Miss Sahara. Miss Sahara Basnet, welcome to 10 Questions with.
Hi, it's great to be here. I'm so glad I made the cut as your close friend.
Only a few people have made the cut, so you should be very privileged. Should
I,
should go should go on your LinkedIn profile or something like that.
I should. It really should. Definitely be my headline.
Yeah, and Sarah. So again, once again, thank you for doing this. I know धेरै धन्यवाद on a Saturday as well. And yeah, I'm very excited to ask you the 10 questions. तर सुरु गर्नको लागि चाहिँ के भइरहेछ? So what's up? के नयाँ नौलो के भइरहेछ त लाइफमा?
Nothing really. I mean, I'm glad everything's opening up. See,
Mhm.
recently I got COVID, but I
Uh-huh.
recovered, so that's good.
Mhm.
And really just, getting back to normal life, getting out. I think that's
Uh-huh.
it. Everything
Okay,
else.
okay, good. And how are you feeling this Saturday morning or afternoon in your case, I think?
Yeah, great. Actually, it's a very sunny day. I'm so grateful that it started to become summery now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's good in terms of weather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we had some good weather here as well. Yesterday, I think of this last week, we've been hit by two hurricanes, so very, very
I
strong winds, and yeah, रातभर अलगै सुत्न like all around, so it's like kind of
know.
fun. So, anyways, how are we feeling about for the 10 questions? Any expectations? Any कस्तो होला?
I'm feeling weirdly nervous. Just
You
not knowing.
shouldn't be. You should be. You should. This should be your day job.
I know.
No
I'm
worries.
excited, but yeah, weirdly nervous as well.
Yeah, no, nothing to be nervous about. These are very easy questions, I thought. Now, to explain to the two listeners that are listening to us right now, के भइरहेछ भने we're gonna ask Sahara 10 questions. तर पाँचवटा question चाहिँ मैले Sahara लाई beforehand पठाइसकेँ. So उहाँले अलिकति उसले or उहाँले I don't know what's the nomenclature over here. उहाँले the questions are हेरिसक्नुभयो र the next five questions are completely impromptu to her as well, so we'll probably get some on the spot answers. Right. Now let's dive to the first sections, the first five. And we like to start off with very simple and like light questions. And the question is, um, if you're having a low day or if need to pick me up, what is that TV show, movie, or music that you like to go to or you constantly go to?
So it's always a TV show, and
Hmm.
it's Friends.
Okay.
It is Friends is something I love watching no matter what because number one, it's very very funny,
Hmm.
and the other reason I love it so much is because within that time frame of the entire season,
Hmm.
all these characters they go through different phases of life.
Hmm.
So it's so funny. Like every time I watch it, I feel like I can relate to a different season because I feel like I'm going through that myself
Mhm,
right now. And
mhm,
even as a child, I loved it. I still love it. And I know for a fact, even when I'm 90 and, I can barely hear anything, I'll probably
mhm.
still be watching.
Wow,
So,
it's good to find another person of the Friends army.
yeah, it's the best army ever.
Yeah, and for me too, the go-to series मेरे पनि friends नै हो, and I remember having a couple of breakups and having friends with me to help me through those things. So it is also very my go-to personal thing, Bunny.
Definitely, definitely. It's just too funny,
Mhm.
it's the best series on earth. And, like I can fight someone over it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I love it.
yeah. So my follow-up question to that is that what do you say to the people who say How I Met Your Mother is better than Friends?
I say you're crazy, okay? Like, oh my God, get some like
Hmm.
sense of what TV shows are supposed to be or something. I
Yeah,
swear, like
you might want
I
you might want to see some of our friends' reaction to this question. Keep on that is
oh
maybe.
I might, but
Hmm.
yeah, no, that is not an answer for me. Like I can't have a conversation with someone who thinks that.
Hmm. Okay. The first question down. Moving quickly on to the second one. Is that तिमीलाई त्यो one thing that really irritates you or gets on your nerve?
Well, now that you said it, I would put like people who say I met you
Okay.
better than friends, probably. No, but on a serious note, I think okay. So this is it's not okay. Anyways, I'm just gonna say it. So something that I that annoys me a lot is if I see someone being like bullied, that
Hmm.
I can't. So I think that's more of a deeper level answer. But
Hmm.
that's the only thing that came to my head when I read this
Hmm.
question, because I can't stand people who are too arrogant and use the power dynamics of any situation, whether it's a boss and employee kind of a situation, or
Hmm.
basically any sort of power dynamic to bully someone who's weaker in some sense. So yeah, that's something that really annoys me, and I cannot handle
Hmm.
situations like that.
Hmm. Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, that's true. That is really annoying as well. But I think bullying ko ma चाहिँ, um I think one thing you mentioned the workplace power dynamics, and this is something that I kind of sometimes think as well, is that it doesn't get talked about too much in
Yeah.
Nepal's professional HR circles as well. Is the sometimes people taking advantage, even sexually or sexual advancements in the workplace inappropriately, अनि त्यो कस्तो terms language use गर्ने. So I think त्यो चाहिँ it doesn't get talked about too much.
No, not at all. I think there's this culture of respect, I guess, based on
Mhm,
age, that goes on in Nepal, so that if someone older to you says something, you just have to listen, or you just
mhm,
have to be polite, even if they're rude to you,
mhm,
which is not a very good thing, because sometimes some people can be trying to take advantage of you, like you
mhm,
mentioned. And age doesn't matter if some people are just like not very good people, but
mhm,
in our culture we're just taught to just accept it and take it, and that's a polite way of handling things.
mhm,
So yeah, like I can't stand people who misuse power,
mhm,
you know in those sense.
mhm. Yeah, hopefully we'll हामी पनि as a society will can have that discussion अनि yeah, I'm sure I'm not sure, but there might be some things that just people are uncomfortable to talk about यस्तो कुराहरू just because of the power dynamics and the bullying involved in it. त्यही त हो नि.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay, two questions down. Moving on, third one is okay, Miss Sahara Basnet. What are the three things that you're really good at? That you think that you're really good at?
Okay, so this took me a while to think, because I was like, maybe I'm not good at anything.
Hmm.
But I came up with three things. So, three things I'm good at. First would be public speaking. I feel like I can proudly say that because I've done it enough,
Hmm.
even though I don't want to jinx it and, flop on the next thing I
Hmm.
say. So, first would be public speaking. Second would be that I am a very good listener.
Hmm.
My friends have told me whenever they need to vent or feel like, they need to be heard, they
Hmm.
come to me. So I think I am a very good listener. And another thing is I am very punctual. I'm very good at being punctual. I've
Mm-hmm.
had settings where especially being from a pageant background,
Mm-hmm.
when you have to get ready, you have to get ready, and getting ready is a very time consuming thing,
Mm-hmm.
especially in an international pageant, because you're representing your country, so you can't just look however you want. You have to
Mm-hmm.
look good all the time. And there was one time when during the pageant itself we didn't even get sleep, because we had to, after the entire day ended, we had to get on a flight at like 1 a.m. to go to Palawan in Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, other girls were more relaxing and things like that, but I was like, no, 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 I need to be punctual. So I made sure
Mm-hmm.
to like get ready by the time people have asked me to, and that is something I always do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, I have to give it to my dad as well, give credit to my dad, because he's a military man and he has
Mm-hmm.
actually put that,
Mm-hmm.
instill that, need of punctuality in me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but it can backfire also. So yeah, because people tend to be late and then you're
Uh-huh.
just there. But anyways,
Uh-huh.
yeah, these are the three things.
Yeah, a great thing. I mean, I'm sure you're great at great many things as well, but I just wanted to tell me about Sunala, that what are the three things that you really think that you're good at? And yeah, emceeing. I mean, we had some good days emceeing a few programs, public speaking in a few programs back in Kusum as well. I think
Yeah, we we did.
I
Yeah,
think we hosted a couple of freshers,
yeah,
the farewell as well, the once
yeah.
farewell. So,
We did. We have hosted a few things together in Kusum.
hmm
Yeah, farewell and ooh, yeah, you're right.
yeah, fond memories of Kusum days. Okay, moving on to the fourth question. Now, is this something that you regularly do that kind of people don't really understand? Or it can be that sometimes even you don't understand why you do it, but you have that need that you need to do it, somewhat even obsessively.
Okay, so this is a quite boring answer. I
Hmm
realize I'm a very boring person when people
No,
think
there's no boring answers.
uh, okay, so I don't like getting up once, like as soon as I'm done eating. I'm not one of those people who can just like, eat and rush out or eat and do anything.
Hmm
Like if I'm with my friends going out also, after I'm done eating, if anybody says let's go, I'm like, no. I don't like moving for at least like 5 to 10 minutes after
hmm
eating. And I don't really have a reason why I do that. It's
hmm
not like I'm uncomfortable, but I just don't like it. So and yeah, and then I make people wait if they're done with dinner and paid the bill, and I just got done eating. I'll
Uh,
just sit in the restaurant and be like, if you want to go, you can go, but I'm just gonna sit and I'm gonna
uh,
leave in. So yeah, it's a very weird thing.
it's like, bro, let me settle.
Yeah,
Let me
exactly. I just
settle.
wanted to chill. I just ate.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's the only thing I can think of really.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, it's maybe not the same thing, but मैले चाहिँ के notice गरेँ भने I eat around here around 11 or 12 र
Yeah.
त्यसपछिको 2-3 hours are my most unproductive hours in terms of
Ah,
सुत्न मन लाग्ने केही गर्न नमन लाग्ने and stuff like that, and I've just stopped fighting it now. खाना खाएपछि I'm just like this is my like bleh hours म त्यतिकै बस्छु त्यसपछि चाहिँ 4 बजी 3-4 बजीदेखि चाहिँ I have my product rehearsal अनि त्यति त्यति बेला गर्ने भनेर so I can understand as well त्यो खाइसकेपछि त्यो केही गर्न नमन लाग्ने thing.
but it's good that you know yourself and you've accepted yourself. So
Yeah,
you're
man.
happy.
I've stopped fighting shit अब त होइन यस्तै हो न्याप लिन मन लाग्छ भने ल्याऊ त्यसपछि don't like fight it and just be over with it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, annoying thing. So, good thing to know. सारासँग भेटिसकेपछि तुरुन्तै खाएपछि चाहिँ जाउँ भन्नु हुँदैन. Good thing to know.
You should know this actually.
No, no, I mean the thing is, whenever we meet and whenever we eat, we stay into for a very long duration, like at least 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. This was the after भइहाल्छ कि. The never something I noticed.
Yeah, that is true. We do hang out like for a really long time.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, hookah खानु मलाई. Anyways, off topic now. Anyways, last question of the first five segment, Haida.
Hmm.
And this question is okay, looking forward in the next, let's say 3 to 5 years, what is that something that you really want to achieve or do?
So, in the coming years, I really want to figure out what I enjoy doing.
Okay.
That's some. I mean, I've understood that the in terms of my profession, development sector is what I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I like using my skills to put in a sector where we're actually doing good for other people. So I love that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I've not really figured out where I fit in perfectly. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I like you'd mentioned my jobs before. Like I am an external relations coordinator, so I'm into network, PR and
Mm-hmm.
networking as well. But at the same time, I'm into gender work through Asha. So I really want to actually take the coming years to figure out what I enjoy
Mm-hmm.
more, and decide and maybe do both at the same time, who knows. But basically, I
Mm-hmm.
really want to understand what it is that I would love to do for the
Mm-hmm.
rest of my professional career. So yeah, that is one thing I'm looking forward to figuring out by trying a
Mm-hmm.
lot of different.
Yeah, I think a very fantastic goal to have, and it's not something that people like to admit as well. I've realized is that no, I mean, Abu Costa, we're in living in a generation of social media or whatever. Everybody's passionate about something, and do what you're passionate about, and sometimes it's okay to do some things and not having like एकदम passionate or something that you enjoy doing था नहुनुको लागि, and it's fine.
And also, I think, like, we're blessed to be grow up in a time where we've been able to acquire different skills. It's
Hmm.
not like we can only do one thing, so I have to try to do this kind of job or that kind of
Hmm.
job. I do have multiple skill sets.
Hmm.
You have multiple skill sets. You can go into different job areas
Hmm.
with whatever degree you have. So
Hmm.
but it is important to figure out, okay, it's fun for now, but what about 10 years later, 20 years later? What where do I want to build my speciality? And I think that's what I really, really want to. I look forward to figuring out
Hmm. Exactly,
coming
and I
years.
hope you find out. And if I may ask, what are the few things that you want to try out?
So again, with my organization,
Uh-huh.
as you know, this year we formally established it, and so running those programs, building washrooms and running interventions, I want to see if going towards becoming more of a wash based gender
Hmm.
specialist is something I'll enjoy more.
Hmm.
um where I feel like I'm working to my maximum capacity and giving my best, and I would love to consider a PhD along that
Hmm.
line of work as well. But I'm very good at my work as a communications person as well, external relations. So perhaps going into communications is could also be a good option for me, because that is also something I really enjoy doing, because I love coordinating with multiple agencies and institutions and getting
Hmm.
deals for my organization to help
Hmm.
the kids of Surkit. So yeah, so these are, I think, these are the two avenues for now that I am
Hmm.
looking into. So who knows, maybe there'll be more down the line. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I hope there is more, or you find the right one, and you find that one thing that really really makes you happy and that you really enjoy doing.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because the thing is, one thing people don't tell you is, you get a degree in
Hmm.
master's degree or whatever degree, and you're just expected to work
Hmm.
in that degree, but you don't really have to. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I'm trying to see if, like, my degree is where I want my future to be, or my skill set. Using my skill set, I want to decide my career, and
Hmm.
basically, yeah, see
Yeah.
where I fit.
Yeah, and this is something my like them really gonna win socks, okay? Because this what we are doing 10 questions with is the same thing for me as well, to try and see different things and what I am good at and what I enjoy and stuff like that. And I don't know if this is going to last or just let's give it a try and क्यों होता रहा है ऐसा वगैरह.
That's really amazing, and I'm very proud of you for trying this out,
Uh,
honestly.
be proud of me when I finish this project, at least the first season. Let's see how what it goes. Anyway, and the funny thing is, it came after my master's degree as well. Master's में
Yeah.
university, there was like, there's nothing to do. अब के गर्ने? Let's try this.
Yeah, and that's amazing. You'll know, at least, you won't think like, oh, what if I
Hmm.
would have done this when I was 20 something, 20 years down the line. So
Hmm.
that it's an accomplishment in itself just to start, I think.
Hmm. Or 20
Yeah.
years down the line, I'll be Nepal's number one Spotify podcast host. Maybe, I don't know. And this is
Exactly.
where it all started.
Exactly. Please have me on the show all the time after that.
No, no, that's not gonna happen. They just keep our expectations low. I think so. Anyways, love. Great end to the first section, first five. So, Costa Filba, how's it going?
It's good. Yeah, I hope I didn't give too weird and boring answers, but
I know you can also say that. Are you sure? Crap. के गरे क्वेसन सोधेको तिमीलाई के क्वेसनै सोध्न यसरी पनि हो होस्ट हुने भनेर भन्दा पनि हुन्छ इट्स फाइन
no, no,
आई
not
विल
at all.
probably edit that part out but भन्दा पनि हुन्छ के जान्छ र
No, no, no. Actually, your questions are these are the most unique questions I'd say I've been asked ever.
Hmm,
You know, yeah,
that's quite saying something because you've been asked a lot of questions in the
I
last
have.
couple of years now. So,
Yep.
so
Good
look,
job.
a pat on my back for myself. Yes. Okay, so moving on to the last five questions. Again, these are the questions Sarah has not prepared for or heard about before. So let's see how she answers the questions. Aita.
Okay.
Okay. The first question, as always, is going to be an easy one. So Sahara Basnet, tell me if there were no restrictions or no limitations to resources, what is your dream travel destination?
Oh, dream travel destination. Um, I don't know. I think I really want to see the Northern Lights, but I'm not much of a travel freak. I don't know.
Mhm,
I love traveling, but at the same time, I'm not someone who tends to have like a checklist of like, I want to
mhm,
go here, I want to go
mhm.
there kind of person. But one thing I definitely like to see is the Northern Lights.
Dang.
From our country, it's like the best to
Yeah,
see.
that is majestic. And I had a few friends that actually went there to study in that part of Norway,
Wow.
and they're like they stayed in a cabin 1 week, and it's all filled with snow. And when you look up, it's the Northern Lights. And मलाई पनि कहिले जानु मन लागेको थिएन. It is nothing very special. Oh, हुँदो रहेछ. But after seeing that story, I can kind of see like, oh, it's something I want to see as well.
Yeah, same for me. My पनि पहिला when I used to see this, I was like, okay, it's whatever, it's a different color sky. Like,
It's
but
green.
then I know it's like okay. But I have a friend, a friend I made in UK called
Mhm.
her name is Mashiat, and she's so much into you. Oh no, you don't know Mashiat. I know what I was
Is this
thinking.
the person who made the amazing drone footage video of
Yes,
everything? Yeah, I
yes,
remember seeing that video though.
yeah, yeah. She's absolutely amazing, and she loves traveling and loves taking pictures. That's why we're good friends because I love having pictures taken of me. But anyway, so yeah, she's the one who really got me seeing these things, and yeah,
Mhm.
Northern Lights. She showed me videos and she made me follow pages, and that's how I was like, okay, now I want to see what it's all about. So yeah,
Good, good.
that is
Hopefully, your dream travel destination will come true very quickly as well. Maybe in 2022. Let's see. है त?
yeah.
अनि
Let's
मलाई पनि अलिकति jealous पार्ने गरी फोटोहरू राख.
go 100%. Like the first thing
100%.
I'll send this to you, I'll be like, haha, I'm here.
I would not expect anything less. Uh, Okay, good start to the last five questions. So moving on to the second one is okay, Miss Sarah Basnet, tell me something. What is that the most embarrassing memory that you can share with me right here, right now?
Hmm. Oh God,
And
most
remember,
embarrassing.
there's no pressure on this. And the last part of the question is if you can share. So,
Yeah. No, no, I'm an open book. So like
mhm,
sharing is not a problem.
okay.
But just remembering what would be the most embarrassing moment. Because I
No,
feel like I've had so many in my life. Um,
no. Yep. Take a moment. Don't have to answer right away. Take a few
hmm,
seconds, a few minutes. It's all okay. It's all your show.
yeah. Okay. I think, you know, just I can only think of school days because I think, as kids we tend to be embarrassed more, I guess. I
Hmm,
don't know.
hmm.
Just my thought. So I don't we didn't share that many classes, I think,
No,
growing
no,
up.
no,
I think
no.
yeah, later only
Hmm,
we shared the same classes. So I don't know if you know this about me, but whenever there was anything going on, any kind of competition going on in
hmm.
school, I take part in it,
Okay.
no matter what it was. I have this thick of a participation certificate for bundle,
Uh-huh.
like. I took part in everything. It was
Okay.
crazy. Every, so anybody entered the classroom, I had oh, you competition, we need people to like take part. Whatever. I was need to
Uh-huh,
recruit.
uh-huh.
I just take my hand out, so people
Okay.
just knew that I was gonna participate. So because as a child, I was very curious to know what I was good at, and I loved taking myself out of my comfort zone, which
Hmm.
is so weird that I don't know if other kids had that too, but I love doing that.
Hmm.
And I miss that, risk taking side of me as an adult because I don't do that as much as I used to.
Hmm.
So I took part on DAVico marathon.
Wow.
I don't remember what it was called. I think it
Cross
was in
country. Called cross country.
cross country marathon. It was just a
Uh,
circle, Dowler Hill or something. I don't know. I don't even remember the route. But I think that was in grade six, five, six,
yeah,
six. I
that's
don't know.
young. Yeah.
Yeah. So and so yeah, I took part in that, and then so I was just like, why not? Because I took part in everything, and
Hmm.
so we were all lined up, and they blow the whistle and start running. There were, I think, at least 50 students, 50 to
Hmm.
60 minimum, and it was an all girls race, funny.
Okay.
And yeah, I came last, like
What?
like dead last. Like it's not even funny. I was like, why did I even take part in this? And I
Oh,
remember the next day I go to school and everybody is making fun of me. And the thing
damn.
is, people say I run weird, and people have said that about me till date. So that's something,
Wait.
and that is not something you want to hear because I am athletic, to a degree because I play basketball,
Uh-huh.
it's all, and people have told me to my face like, haha, you kind of run funny. So yeah, it was not a great moment
Wait.
of my life.
Wait. I need to see you how you run now. Cause I've seen you play basketball, kusumbela and futsal and everything, but I don't remember
Me running.
you running or it being weird. But now I
Yeah,
need to see and like judge if this is a weird run or not.
I think it's weird. I like how many people, like a few people have told me. So I was like, this just can't. This has to be reality. Like, why
Huh?
would someone just, if they want to put me down, they can pick a lot of things. Like, the way I run. Like, why? So yeah, yeah, it
Uh,
was great. I realized that I run funny, number
uh,
one, and then I came last. So people could actually see me run
mm.
funny at the end of the line, like
And everybody went, that's why she came last.
yeah,
Because
like
she runs
what?
funny.
Like what is she? Is that running? They're just having a hard time. And I think like I reached, I think 45 minutes after the race and something. Yeah, it was great. Yeah,
Sorry
that
about
is
sorry to joke about this, but 45 minutes after the race and it was like, are you even participating? Are you just going on? I'm sorry.
no, I swear, you know how I knew it was like I was at the very end?
Hmm.
It's because for the I don't know if you know this because
Hmm.
normal people who can run normally don't know this. Funny runners like me only know this. So what at the end, if you've not made it, they send the teachers in bikes and whatever to pick you up because
What?
wait for you to complete the whole thing because you clearly can't do it
Uh-huh.
in a good amount of time. So they actually come to pick you up.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
yeah, so
And
I
they
was
didn't
picked
do
up.
that for you.
I didn't. I was like, no, I have too much pride.
Okay, okay, okay.
Then I ran like then you want to keep your pride, but at the same time, when you enter last, and then there are people,
Uh-huh.
they've already handed out the medals and certificates, and you're just like running back. It
Heck.
was. I think I should have chosen to let go of my pride. Would have been.
No. No, I think this is very admirable what you did at a very young age, very determined, and it doesn't matter if you finished last, it matters that you participated in a school marathon and you had this cool story to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, I never participated in a marathon and I don't have the story to tell, so that's very cool.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, in hindsight, it's something to share. But yeah, at that moment, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to come to school because,
Hmm.
everybody was making fun of me the next day. And I was like, never again.
Yeah.
And I actually have not like taken part in a marathon, but I do other things. It's not like I let it hold me back, but
Hmm.
just that I know I'm not a fast runner at all.
I think I saw you a couple of weeks or even months ago. I think you and Rajesh Hamal were there at a marathon at the start of the marathon.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. That was something. I was like, out of
Did they make you
everything
run?
I thought I did have to run. Oh my God. And see, we didn't have to run. It was a walkathon.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because I was like, I can't run a marathon. And when they invited me, it was just like 3 or 4 days before the event, and they're like, "Would you come?" And I was like, "Oh, I think my schedule is free. I don't mind. I'd love
Hmm.
to travel." The thing is, so at that point, if they said that I had to run, I didn't even have enough time to prepare, so if they
Hmm.
said it like 2 months back, oh, you have to run also, then I'd be like, like Rocky, just
Hmm.
like getting into shape and things like that. So I was like, I'm not running, I can't, it's going to be embarrassing. And they're like, no, no, you just have to do a walkathon
Hmm.
and come back, whatever, with Rajesh Samag, you and then the sports minister. So I was
Hmm.
like, cool, that sounds good. I just thought we'd just be, walking for the cameras and just smiling and just like being present. But Rajesh Hamal is tall and he walks so fast,
Wow.
so fast. Like, oh my God, I don't know if you've seen videos of him walking, like in that particular
Even.
marathon. He was walking and people were running to catch up to him. And one of those
Dang.
people was me, because I was like, like I had to run to like catch up to him, and I
Uh-huh.
couldn't catch up to him. And I actually reached midway. Me and the sports minister,
Uh-huh.
we actually reached, to a certain point, and I was like, Raj Samal had already reached the end, and I was like, I'm just gonna wait for him to come back. then he came back, but I was like, it needs to be fair, so I'm not gonna walk in front of him. So I'm just gonna let him pass, and then I'll start walking behind him. So it'll seem like we're in the same whatever group of
Uh-huh.
people walking. But then he walked so fast again. I was like, there and I'm here, and I was like, wow, like it was crazy, and I had to run again. Yeah,
Wow.
so yeah, I ran by the time he reached the finish line, just so that when they take pictures, like everybody's there, and it doesn't
Hmm.
seem like again I'm coming, last once everything is over.
Yeah. I
So yeah,
mean,
that happened.
you expect certain things that it would go a certain way. This talk show, like you had certain expectations, but I'd never had expected to learn about Rajesh Hamal and his awesome walking abilities on 10 questions with Sahara Basnet. So thank you for
I
that.
it's a must know, I swear.
Uh, But yeah, thank you for sharing your most embarrassing memory. But Yorakura, what I really liked about it is that you admit that there are a lot of embarrassing memories. What I tend to people to सोद्धा चाहिँ मान्छेहरूले चाहिँ के भन्दो रहेछ भने embarrassing memory आउँदै आएन यार. You're like, there are so many. Which one do I pick? And that's how I am exactly as well. Like I have two or three embarrassing memories locked and loaded and too ready to go.
Yeah, I swear. Maybe it's because we're product of DAV.
Ah, yes. We built in shame in our core. That's why we feel shame so easily.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we should send this to the principal of TV. Let's see
Oh
what
my
they
god.
have to say about this.
We'll take our like certificates back probably.
Uh, anyways, okay, fun. Next question. At the last five is okay. Okay, Sarah. Tell me the last time you changed your mind about something. यस्तो गर्छु भनेर you were thinking, but at the last moment or for different reasons you changed your mind about it.
Okay, so I can't give any particular example, but I don't like being predictable. So when you say this, I think I am someone who changes her mind a lot.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I'd have to say it without sounding like a total psychopath and a creep
No,
or
no, no,
something.
no, no.
But I hate it when people put me in a box and they're like,
Uh-huh.
well, if I do this, I expect Sahara to react this way. And
Okay.
if I feel like, if I feel like people are going to put me in that box, and if you're going to be like, okay, if I do this, then Sahara will react this way, and I don't want that kind of image of me, then I'll just change my perspective on the things very easily, and I'll just react differently, just
Okay.
to not be predictable. Does that
Mhm.
make sense? Is that creepy?
And I don't think it's creepy or it makes sense or that it does not make sense, but it's just that that's who you are in terms of you
Yeah.
would like to have different perspectives on things and you just you liked to like keep people guessing.
Guessing, yeah. And it's not about things that I, believe at my core, not like things, moral things or things like
Hmm.
that. But I just don't like if, like, for example, if someone, thinks, for example, if you think I'm such a hothead, you
Hmm.
know, and it's okay, I am a hothead and I can be. But at the same time, if you're like, oh my God, Sahara is a hothead, or don't do this in front of Sahara, Sahara's gonna like freak out, then I'll just change that about myself. And, I'll change my perception about what you did. And
Hmm.
if it offended me before, I'm going to make sure I don't take it as seriously, so that I
Hmm.
don't want to be that defined by my actions to a degree and just like become this very predictable person.
Hmm. Hmm.
That is something that I do.
Hmm. I
So
mean,
yeah,
first of all, I don't think you're a hothead at all. But yeah.
I don't think anyone has said that, hey, till now.
No, no, I'm trying to reflect as well, and in terms of के हुन्छ भने especially for अब मेरै लेन्सबाट you kind of fall into this pattern of behavior in terms of people expect you to do things and you kind of do it and it kind of gets reinforced as well. So if let's say example Ayush will do this, he's a nice guy, he will do this, he cannot say no to things. So ulai soda, he will do it, and like I kind of, and people expect that, and kind of had to live up to that. Pani kaile
Yeah,
kai. And what you're saying is kind of a little bit different of what I or usually people tend to do is like even if like people expect you to do certain things, you kind of reassess and how you are feeling at that moment, and right or wrong, you make a decision for yourself,
yeah,
kind of thing, and you don't have to like follow this previously established pattern of behavior. You are the person that you are, therefore you act however you choose at that moment.
exactly. And for me, I am someone, I don't know, I rarely fight with people because
Hmm.
I can really understand two different perspectives,
Hmm.
very clearly. Like, if I have my opinions, but it doesn't like stop me from understanding somebody else's perspective, which is completely different from mine as well.
Hmm.
I don't get offended and things like that. So I can really relate to that other person, even though I
Hmm.
strongly believe in the complete opposite. I still have that capacity to hear the person out and understand to a degree and have a good communication. And when it comes to this changing perspective thing, one example I can give you is that after I did my gender studies and I came back here, I felt like I was kind of kept into this box of like, oh, she's going to be reactive. Like, oh my God, don't talk about women's issues in front of
Hmm.
her, or don't like say anything negative about women. Oh my God, like not in front of Sahara. Like
Yes.
I've had people tell me this, and I was
Hmm.
like, it's because I studied gender studies. So that was pretty odd to me. And that's why, and of course, what I believe in is what I believe in. But because that person in particular has put me in this box of being someone who would be so reactive and so offended if you say something,
Hmm.
instead, I've had those situations when I just voice my educated opinions about
Hmm.
what the situation is
Hmm.
regarding women's issues. And if they put me in that box, then next time I react in a very different way and I say, you know what, and I don't change my morals, I don't change my thought process, but I just change the way I handle the situation, and I don't become
Hmm.
that predictable, like, oh, she's going to get offended, she's going to go crazy. It's that I listen to that person and I say, I completely understand what you're saying,
Hmm.
and then tackle it in a different way. And then
Hmm.
again, with this approach, if they start saying, oh my God, Sarah is not passionate enough, the next time I meet them, I'll be like, oh my God, excuse me. You know what I mean? It's
It's
kind of like
yeah,
that.
it's like finding the right way to get through to people. And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, there was this awesome class that I took on my last year of my master's in Poland, and it was a leadership class. And that guy kind of changed my perspective on a lot of things. And he used to say that if you want to be a leader or whatever, you will need to have several tools in your toolkit and
Mm,
be able to take out the right tool when it's required. So if you want to reason with a person like on his level and like meet at the middle ground, you need to do that as well if the situation demands it. But if you need to be very vocal about it, if you have to be
yeah.
very stern about it, you need to be able to do that as well. So that was and I think that like uh, relates to much of what you said as well in terms of I don't have this pattern of behavior. It's just that I have these various versions of myself that I can call upon when and if required.
Mm. Exactly.
That's good.
So I think it's very necessary,
Hmm.
because the last thing you want is people to just put you in this box, because from that point on, they just can't expect anything different from you. And, you just
Hmm.
don't want to be too predictable. And I hate being predictable
Hmm.
by any sense. So, yeah,
Okay.
I hope my answer matches your question, because it's not like changing, a thought really, but just how I think about things and
Hmm.
how I approach them, I guess.
No, no, I think
Yeah.
it's an interesting conversation or discussion. अनि किनभने भने one last thing on this before we move on to you said it earlier अलिकति अगाडि that you kind of are able to see two perspectives at the same time and kind of understand where both people or both perspectives are coming from. And I think I feel like I'm the same kind of person. तर मलाई चाहिँ के हुन्छ भने I feel like end up becoming अलिकति too much of a dude bad person, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I feel like, but in a way, in a world where there's so much hyperbolic information, like either this side or that side, and you kind of feel like you need to tend to gravitate to one side or the other. And
Yeah.
कहिले चाहिँ I feel like I'm not taking a stand on this issue, or अलिकति दुध भात approach to it, and maybe I should be more passionate about it. But again, it's understanding both perspectives and their rights and wrongs and both of that. And I think our generation needs that more.
We definitely need that more. I think being a doodh bath is not a bad thing at all, because I am team doodh bath for sure.
How
No, because
how how dull of us, Sahara? How very dull of us.
oh god, no, because I've like in my study abroad in UK, that's the time when I got to meet people from different worlds in the
Mhm,
same place, because I live with 10 people, and like from 8 different countries. So
mhm,
there were difference of opinion. And but at the same time, I've seen, because see, people have overpowering personalities too, right? Some people
mhm,
tend to be more passive, and some people are more like upfront about things. And I've seen louder people sometimes try to dominate the other person because they have a difference in opinion. And I don't, I've always hated that. So in
comes back to
situations,
the things that annoys you, bullying. Mhm,
again,
mhm,
yeah,
mhm,
exactly. So in that case, being a dudbat is good, because it is necessary to understand both perspective, and not let it get to you sometimes, even if it's not something you believe in. You just, because that person may be speaking out of their lived experience, and you
mhm,
can't just dismiss it. Because I think that especially comes from studying gender, because a lot of the things, when it comes to women's
mhm,
issues also, it's like a lot of things are in debate. And if something is being forced upon women, or people are doing certain things, girls do it on their own will, from coming
mhm,
from a patriarchal culture. For example, I don't want to give too many of like my gender lectures, but
mhm,
for example, Tej,
mhm,
there is a patriarchal background to it. And it's like, there are people who say, why celebrate Tej, and like,
mhm,
it's patriarchal. But there are, at the same time, there are some people who genuinely love that tradition and
mhm,
enjoy it so much. And you don't want to look at people who say, that is patriarchal, and call them extremists and put them down, because they're right too. But
mhm,
at the same time, people who genuinely enjoy celebrating it as a part of their tradition and culture, and not
mhm,
really, they don't see it as something that is
mhm,
making them be reducing their value or
mhm,
worth as women. They see it something that's more uplifting, and they get to
mhm,
celebrate themselves at that day.
mhm,
So when it comes to these kind of things, it is good to be dudbate is what I'm
mhm,
trying to say. Understand both perspective, because it is necessary, especially in our time, to understand everybody, because the world is changing so much, and it's important to understand everybody's individual lived experience, and
mhm.
support it, as long as it doesn't go against somebody else's, it doesn't harm someone else.
Exactly. And it doesn't say less about your own values or your own belief system. It's just that you're trying to hear a person out.
Exactly.
Good.
So yeah,
Great answer, Sarah Basnet.
I am a pageant girl after all.
That you are. And okay, two questions left on 10 questions with. And the very penultimate question is, okay, tell me something that you are very grateful for.
Grateful for.
Hmm.
I am very, very grateful for the people around me, my family and friends.
Hmm.
Because I don't think I would be the person I am today if I didn't have the family and the friend support that I do now.
Hmm.
um because I've realized that a lot of my confidence comes from the fact that my parents are confident in me, my friends are confident in me, and it's more of their manifestation. And when I look at them, I see how confident they are in me about what I can do with myself, with my life. So I'm very, very grateful to have such support system that no matter what I try, they never say no. And nobody's ever told me, no, you can't do this. I know for a fact, if I say, you know what, I'm just going to try to be an astronaut, like, I can imagine everybody just supporting me, even though
Hmm.
it'd be like a complete change of everything. But they just believe in me. So I'm very, very grateful to have extremely good support system, great friends like you too, who are very nice and
Hmm.
always support me and always boost
Hmm.
me up every time. So that is what I'm
Oh,
grateful for.
that's really nice. And just before I move on, I remember this one story you told me about. I think it was right after your pageant, the 2017 Miss Nepal pageant that you took part in, and when you went to Philippines.
Yeah.
I think it was a story about your grandmother, if I
Mm.
believe or not, is that you had this, okay, traditionally revealing bikinis, whatever. But the fact that I found the most touching is how open and your grandmother was proud about you, and that spoke volumes to me in terms of the support system that you have. And I still kind
Yeah.
of remember that, and I said, wow, I mean, no wonder Sahara is doing so much and flourishing and doing such like out of comfort zone things, is that she has this wonderful support system in the family, and she doesn't have to fight against, and she doesn't
Yeah.
have to spend this a lot of energy fighting against something, rather than the support system kind of building you. And that's
Exactly.
something very, and it comes back now when you say that your support system is great, and that's I find very lovely.
Yeah. I can't believe you remember that poster story. Yeah, that is one of the best moments of my life. And
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
I'm the closest to my grandmother, because yeah, she's such a conservative woman.
Hmm.
She grew up in a different time. But to look at it was a huge poster of me in a bikini and say, "Oh my God, I'm so proud of you." And I was like, "Wow,
And
that's it."
that's really something I find really, really, I don't know what the right word is. Kosto tunes. Like, I don't know the right word over here, but when a people of that generation, like it happens with my mom and my aunts as well. They grew
Yeah,
up in a certain generation with certain expectations, but it's just to Kurama, they are so open and they kind of support you wholeheartedly, and you kind of realize it's difficult for them as well, but they kind of love you and they just want to do the best for you, and they adjust and they just support you despite that. It's so, I don't know, motherly. I don't know the right word over here, but it's so nice. So
yeah,
I really,
it
really like that.
it
And
is.
again, the support system. And you kind of, I think you felt it, you might have felt it as well when you came to the UK, but I especially felt it when I came to Germany, is because I think the first 2 or 3 months was very, very difficult in terms of Itako logistics, non-bunny, but it was very lonely, I
Yeah,
found. And you kind of miss the support system you had back in Kathmandu. And uh, I don't know. I didn't know that I was doing it back then, but earlier it's like I started making friends. There are some friends that I still am very close with till this day, and I was kind of looking to build my own support system back over there. So it's important, and you only realize it when it's not over there and how important it was.
yeah, that's true. I definitely felt the same thing, because you're just. I think even in the days you're down, because your family,
Hmm.
especially your close friends also, but especially your family, they know you so well. So sometimes when you're so down on yourself, you need someone who really knows you to pick you up and say, I know you and I know what you're capable of.
Hmm.
But when you're abroad, you don't have that. Your friends you met like a month ago, you
Hmm.
barely know them, so they don't know you enough to comfort you or boost you up in the way
Hmm.
that you need. So yeah, I also missed that support system for sure,
Hmm.
initially, especially.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And what I really like about this question is almost all the time when people I ask people what they're grateful for, it's always the support system around them. It's always their parents, it's always the partner, and that I find that very, very beautiful in terms of, yeah, you know that you don't externally say it, But when you have to, you kind of know the things that are important to you. So
Yeah,
that's what I love about
definitely.
this question and came up again. So I'm very, very thankful, Sarah, for sharing it.
I'm glad you shared this.
Okay, last question for 10 questions with Sahara Basnet. And this question is again, you don't have to share it if you don't want to, but yeah, let's see. Okay, Sarah, tell me something that you recently struggled with and hopefully you overcame as well.
Recently struggled with. Struggles are real for me, like for everyone. But wait, let me think of something recently. Hmm. Still trying to think.
No, it's okay, take your time.
I think the overcame part is important.
Mm.
Like if you said just struggle, I'd be like one, two, three, five. I'll give you a list.
No, 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 no. But it's hopefully you overcame. So it's can be something that you are struggling with right now as well, but only something that you would like to share with me right now. So anything that you would like to share, necessarily overcame or not, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, so I think my recent most struggle out of many has been, just I don't know, being very dull, I think, and being very, very, very unproductive. And
Mhm,
I think this is something like everyone can really relate with. One of the blessings of my job is that I work from home.
mhm,
But yeah, the downside is I work from home. So, there's like
uh,
there are days when you just because you're not leaving the house at
mhm,
all, and sometimes when you get out of the house you're more productive. I feel, at least for
mhm,
me, even
mhm,
if I have to run out and do the minorest of errand, when I come back home I feel like, okay, so what do I do next? And I have
mhm,
this productive energy, whereas when I'm home I'm like, I have entire day. So there was one point I'd become very, very dull, and then
mhm,
I got COVID, and
mhm,
I had to isolate for 13 days
mhm,
because my just tested positive. So that really just worsened my level of unproductivity
mhm,
extremely. And I am someone who likes to plan things and achieve, like, I mean, I attempt to achieve it, but I am someone who likes to plan, like, I want to get this done this month.
mhm,
I like to look forward to doing things so that I'm actually doing something, and I don't let just time, get the best of me. So yeah, that is something that I was struggling with the most. So what I ended up doing was I got a planner.
okay.
So yeah, my struggle is still there.
Uh-huh.
I still do have a hard time fulfilling all my tasks of the
Mhm,
day,
mhm,
but having a planner works very, very well for me because it really keeps me on my toes, and I
mhm,
remember the things that I need to get done, and then if I don't do it, I'll just put it for the next day,
mhm,
being late. But I'm still very much on top of things because of that. So I feel like now I'm starting to get out of that rut of just being, it's not like I didn't get work done, but I was
mhm,
just not operating to my maximum capacity
mhm,
because there are so many things that I want to get done, but I'm
mhm,
just not doing it because I'm lazy and unproductive as well. So yeah,
mhm.
it's a simple struggle with a simple solution, I guess. It's not a simple struggle, but simple solution for sure.
No, like you said, Dilwan, as just like a lot of people go through this. I go through this. I can relate to it very much. Ani, the fact that I think you got a planner and kind of plan things ahead. अब कति त्यो waysहरू हुन्छ नि, there are a lot of tips on how you can be more productive. Make a planner, make a to-do list, stick to it. Objective of the day, get it done. And that's what I recently started to do as well. December because I needed to find a job here in Germany, and again, low energy, not getting stuff done. But this, like the planner, the to-do list really helped,
Mhm.
and yeah, it helps getting things done. But at the same time, the whole process, what I realized as well, or at least for me, what I realized that you you kind of need to be a little bit more kinder to yourself as well,
Yeah,
in terms of you live in the world of like Instagram achievements, LinkedIn achievements. Everybody's doing so many things, and you feel the pressure to be productive, hyper productive even.
yeah,
But that's not how it should be actually, for at least for me, is that you call yourself lazy, you call yourself unproductive, But
Yeah.
I know for the fact that you are one of the most productive people I know. You are not lazy, Sahara, but you're very smart, intelligent, you keep doing things, you achieve things. But we just kind of feel the pressure to do those things. So what अनि अघि भने जस्तो कि I stopped fighting this anymore, this feeling of being unproductive, the feeling that I am not doing enough. I've stopped fighting it. So when I after a lunch I feel very unproductive, or I feel like I need to take a nap, I stop fighting it. Just be unproductive for an hour or two. So let me be myself, and I kind of trust myself to, like, there is a time that I'll pick this up and I'll do my to-dos, if not today, if tomorrow.
Yeah. And I think you're very right, especially with the social media thing, that
Hmm.
definitely comes into play when we judge our, productivity level,
Hmm.
for sure. And yeah, for me, that's definitely the case. And like you, have also learned to look at social media and not, compare it directly to my life. And I
Hmm.
don't directly compare my life to other people's and productivity level, and because there are so many things that goes under it, me
Hmm.
that it's discipline for sure, but other
Hmm.
than that, you don't know the exact time frame of what it took that person to accomplish certain
Hmm.
thing, and we just look at the achievement and think, wow, that person's already done this and I've done nothing.
Hmm.
So yeah, but yeah, I think like you, I've also started to slowly, like, not be too ambitious with my planning.
Uh-huh.
The day I'm gonna, you know get everything done, and I'm trying to find that balance of, like, what is good enough to
Hmm.
push myself, at the same time what is, like, not too much that I punish myself and say that I'm just being unproductive.
Yeah. And I think from my perspective, what I would say is I actually trust in the person who is Sahara Basnet, in terms of I know what you've done, what you've achieved, and I kind of trust that whatever you are doing right now, you are making sound decisions and you're doing the most that you can, and you will get where you will be. You don't have to put in the extra, let's say, push yourself 20%, because I know that when it's required, that you will do it and you'll make the right decision, because I trust the person Sarah Wasn't, and trust in that she will achieve the things that she has set out in life. So therefore, I also think that Sahara Basnet should not be very hard on Sahara Basnet as well sometimes.
I think I'd like to change my first answer,
Uh-huh.
and instead of friends, I'm gonna say a conversation with you is what I need to do.
Ah, no, no,
When I'm so-
no, 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 no. We can do this. I mean, anytime you want to have a conversation, it doesn't have to be recorded every time, but I'm always there. But
yeah,
yeah, but one of the things I really wanted to do this, your 10 questions with, is just reach out to people and just have these conversations.
yeah,
And anyways, you meet people, you say hi, hello, but you don't really kind of get beyond that. And that's okay as well. I'm not saying that's wrong, but this was a conscious effort to kind of reach out to people and check up on them as well.
yeah, yeah. And it's great. I think for me also, out of all the interviews I've done, I think it's always been, it's more superficial, like, oh, what did you do? What are you gonna do now? And just that. But I love to, talk, explore my own thoughts
Hmm.
more,
Hmm.
the questions that you've provided, and I
Hmm.
feel like I get to share, you know my inner self, in this conversation, so I really enjoyed that part the most.
Yeah, and it can stay between us. It doesn't need to go out. It can remain a self-reflection forever, and I'm completely fine with that as well.
No, 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 I think I'm good with this. I think my weird way of running should be known to my
Uh, but final word on this is that sometimes I think you're expected to be so confident on your thoughts that you need to have conviction on what you think, and it's not always like that. There are certain uncertainties. The thought process is different. When some perspective change, I'm not the same. I might not have the same perspective right now that I had a few years ago, and it's a complicated mess. And at the same time, social media मा चाहिँ यही हो भनेर भन्नुपर्ने. And what happens, what I tend to notice that यही हो भन्यो भने अरू मान्छेहरूले पनि त्यही होला भनेर सोच्न थाल्छन् कि when you yourself know that it's not that. There's multiple perspectives in it, and people kind of tend to believe that it is just. But when you talk about this, the introspective process of how people think and how they come to a decision, then कसरी त्यहाँ पुग्ने is more important than त्यहाँ पुग्ने kind of thing. I don't know.
Very true. Very
And,
true.
and one of the things I hope is that when we look back at this conversation 3 or 5 years from now, hopefully we've set out on the things that we have achieved, we want to achieve, number one, or maybe realize that's not the thing that we wanted to achieve and achieve completely different things or change
Yeah.
our perspectives in life. So yeah,
As long
hopefully fun
as,
exercise.
yeah, definitely.
So Sahara, thank you for doing 10 questions with. It was very lovely. As always, always love having long conversations with you. Anything that you would like to, the final words you would like to leave us with?
Oh, I am just very glad to again have made the cut and be here. I really enjoyed this interview a lot. I don't think I've ever been this relaxed and, just spoken my mind and
Hmm.
shared, personal things, but, things I don't mind people knowing at the same time.
Hmm.
So this was actually a very unique experience that I've had. And I'm so glad you're doing this. And I can see it becoming what it can be and an amazing hit as well. So I hope you keep at it. And then I hope I get to be a part of your, I don't know, like 100th like interview or things like that. But yeah, so looking forward to those days as well.
That was very kind. And no, the pleasure is all mine. I am for one am very grateful to have friends like this who kind of agree to have experiments like this as well. That kind of have believe me and trust me. And when I say like this, oh, तिमीलाई म 10 वटा question सोध्छु, and like they'll go, what the fuck, man? You're a creep. I'm not gonna do this. I mean, to actually have people kind of believe in what you do and kind of support it is very important. So that's I'm very grateful for my support system and you as well. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, that's it for today's 10 questions with. Catch you next time. Bye.